Hello, everybody. My name is Tony Cupisz, and I am one of the co-founders of ACN. And I just wanted to be able to participate in your great training that you're doing right now. I have to say that I wish I was there in person. That is not possible. So the next best thing is to send a video. I was there not too long ago doing a tour in both Japan and Korea. And I have to say, when I tour anywhere in the world in ACN, my favorite place to come is both Japan and Korea. I think the people are so great. I enjoyed getting a chance to meet all the leaders. I believe that the leaders in Asia are the best leaders anywhere in the world in ACN. And so I just wish them and all of you great success. Now, I know there's a lot of new people watching this. When you look at ACN, I just want you to understand that when we started our company, we loved this industry so much, the industry of direct selling. And we just wanted to do something a little different than most companies. And that is that we wanted to not only offer products, but even more importantly, we wanted to offer services, services that people use every single day. And that's what separated ACN from all other companies out there. Now, we started over 30 years ago, and we've been in Asia for now just a little over 10 years. Now, we've been in business for a while, which means we have a lot of success behind us. But more importantly is how big the opportunity is in front of us. We barely got started in both Asia and the world with ACN. So your timing could not be more perfect. And I just want to share some thoughts with you, give you some tips on maybe what you can do to make your business grow faster. You know, we built this in one country and we've grown all over the world. And the key to success with what we're doing is that what we do is very simple. And the key for you is to keep it simple as well. So I'm going to share with you some tips on how to maybe think about this business when you're doing it, not only for you, but for any new person that you're showing the business to. And if you can keep it simple for yourself and you can keep it simple for other people, then you'll have a great chance for your business to just grow as large and as fast as you want it to. So let me share some things with you. You know, the first thing that I always tell everyone is that the key to success, no matter what you do, always comes down to your mindset. And I think mindset is more important than anything. Mindset is the foundation of your success. It's how you think. If you can think the right way, nothing can stop you. And our business is very unique because our business is a people business, right? And so it's really not hard to do. You know, we all do simple things. We get some customers, we build a team. It's not hard to do physically. Sometimes it's only hard to do mentally. So if we can keep ourselves with a strong mindset, then we'll always have a greater chance of succeeding. The first thing I tell people is the key to success is, first of all, making a real decision within yourself that this is something you're going to do. Don't be on the fence. You know, you have to make that decision. You have to make that mental commitment, and know that you're going to have 2 feet in, you know, and that you're going to follow through as long as you can to work your way to the top of ACN. So just first of all, make that decision that this is what you really want to do. And then second, just know you're going to go through a learning curve. This is no different than anything else that you've done in life. At first, it's going to be awkward. You have to learn some new things. You have to learn how to do it. And it's going to feel like you're going through a bit of an emotional roller coaster. One day you're going to be excited. You're going to have confidence. And another day you may start to second guess yourself. And that is totally normal. All I can tell you is just know you're going to go through a learning curve. Just do the little things you're supposed to do every single day. I always give advice to people to be coachable. You know, just trust that the leaders that you're working with and the training that you're going to hear today are the right things to do. So just be coachable, be open-minded, and then think about this business long term. Don't think about a month from now or 6 months from now. Think about where you could be a year from now or 2 years from now or even 5 years from now, because time moves quickly, as we all know. And what we do today and tomorrow is going to determine where we are going to be in the future. So just think about how your life could be so improved if you could succeed in a great business like ACN. The key to success is understanding that what we do is very simple. And for some reason, human beings, we love to overcomplicate things. So I always remind everybody, if anyone ever asks me questions or if anyone ever gets frustrated, I always say, just first of all, take a step back and remember what we do. Our job is to keep this super simple. And that is, we do two simple things. Each of us are just going to get some customers and we're going to get some customer getters. We're going to build a team. So we're going to get customers. We're going to build a team of other people to get customers. Now, some people getting customers will be easy. And for some people, getting customers will be hard. Don't worry about it. Just do your part and start building a team. And the same thing will happen. People on your team, it'll be easy to get customers. For some people, it'll be hard. But as your team starts to grow, overall, you're just going to get a lot more customers. And even when you build a team, some people find it very easy to build a team, and some people find it very hard to build a team. It's okay. We just work together as a team, do your part, and I promise you over time, this will become second nature to you. All you have to do is just do your part. I always remind people when you build a team, start with the people you know. And even as time goes on, all of us are always meeting new people. So I always tell people, keep a running list. Take the time to actually make a list. I know it sounds very elementary, but there's something powerful about actually writing names down of people that you know, that you think may be your potential customers, or maybe someone that would be interested in the business that we're at. Just make a list of everybody you know. I know everybody knows people on social media. We have people in our mobile phones, but just take a time and write that list, because what you'll notice is that we all know a lot more people than we can remember just sitting down one time. But as you make that list, you're going to start realizing you're going to remember people you forgot you knew. And then you make the list and we give everybody a chance to look at ACN. And if someone says no and it doesn't work out, no problem. We simply remove them from the list. If we make some new friends or meet some new people that we think might be interested, we just add them to our list. But that list is very important. That's going to be the foundation of your business. Now, that list is for nobody but you, okay? Everyone's going to have their own list. You know people that I don't know. I know people that you don't know. We all know people that all of us don't know. So that's the power of what we do. It's relationship marketing, and that's the most powerful way to build. So make your list. When you make your list, I always remind people, do not prejudge. Don't think in advance who you think would be good at this, or who would not be good at this, or who would like this and who may not like this. Don't even try to predict it. And the reason I say that is because you may be right some of the time, but you will not be right all of the time. The people that you think will do this won't. The people that you think won't do this will. The people that you think will be the best, they may be the worst. And the people that you think may be the worst turn out to be the best. And the reason that happens is the reason someone gets involved in our business has very little to do with you or me or the company. It has everything to do with the timing of what is going on in someone's life. If the timing's right, they join us. If the timing's wrong, they don't. So your goal is just invite everyone to take a look at what we're doing and let them decide. What you'll find is that if you do it right, you'll have a much better chance of having success. And what we do is we tell people, we're not in the selling business. We're in the sorting business. We're just looking for people that want to do it. We're not trying to convince anybody to do it. All right. And what you'll find is that when we talk to people, they will fall into one of three categories. Some people say yes. Some people say maybe, I have some questions. And some people say no. And whether they say yes, maybe, or no, again, has everything to do with the timing of what is going on in someone's life. So we're not looking to make someone that says no. We're not trying to convince them to say yes. We're just trying to find the people who already are going to say yes. So we're in the sorting business. We're sorting for people who are already looking for what we're doing. Now, if I could give you any advice, spend 80% of the time that you dedicate doing ACN to looking for the people that say maybe or yes. And we invite them to look at what we're doing. If someone is not interested, no problem. Just you can maybe ask them to try one of our services and be one of your customers. It's as simple as that. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. The key is you just have to rise above emotion and know that some will join us. Some will think about it and some won't, and that's okay. The key is just have fun while you're building the business, because there are people out there that are just like us that are looking to do this great business. Now, if I can also give you another piece of advice, is just follow the compensation plan. You're going to learn about that in today's training. But the compensation plan is so exciting because the more you learn about it, the more excited you get about your business. But the compensation plan is how you get paid, but it's also your roadmap to success. We all have the same roadmap. Everybody has the same compensation plan. We all start from the same place, and our goal is to just follow what we need to do to move up the plan. So if I were you, people say sometimes, what do I do? Or if some people will come to you and say, what should I do? Say, well, let's look at the compensation plan. Let's just follow the plan. If you're just get started, your first goal is to become ETL. Then you want to move up to TC, RD, and eventually just follow the plan until you get to SVP. Now, as you move up this plan, two things are happening. One, your business is growing because you can't go up the plan unless your business is growing. So follow the plan, your business is growing, and your compensation is increasing. Every time you move up from one position to the next, you get paid more for doing the same exact thing. And that is the incentive to working your way up. Now, as you move up this plan, your team is growing, more customers are coming in, and therefore revenue is growing and your residual income is growing. So to grow in this plan, you should really try to get good at building a team. Now, building a team is easy if you do it right. It's also difficult if you do it wrong, all right? So I'm going to try to give you a simple way to look at building your team, and you're going to learn about a little bit of this more in detail in today's training. But if you look at recruiting, it really is 3 simple steps. Recruiting is number one. Step one is just piquing someone's interest and inviting them to a presentation to look at what we're doing. Step 2 is we just present the opportunity. And step 3 is we invite people to go to training. These are the 3 steps. And I suggest that you always focus on all 3 steps. You never want to miss out on training, right? So if we work backwards, you can't train someone who hasn't seen the presentation, and you can't present to somebody who has not been invited to a presentation. So the first step is the most important step in recruiting, and that is just piquing someone's interest and inviting them to a presentation. Now, if you're new, all we want you to do is focus on step 1, just inviting people. Let the experts do all the work. The experts will do the presentation for you. The experts will answer questions that your people may have. Your experts will actually invite people to training when they're ready, and your experts will train your new people, and you learn as you go. Some of you may never want to step up and be a presenter, and that's okay. We're a team. We'll let the presenters do the presentations, and you could just focus on inviting. And some of you are going to want to be presenters, and that's great. So let the leaders know in your market if you want to be a presenter. That's how we divide and conquer. That's how we're able to help more people when more of us step up and help present to the people that want to learn more about the business. But if you're new, just focus on inviting someone to a presentation. And inviting is really simple. All you're really doing is saying to somebody, do you look at different ways of making money? Or do you look at business opportunities? However you want to ask that question, just ask it in your own personality. And what you're really saying is, do you look at business opportunities because you want to know? The answer is either going to be yes, maybe, or no. And if it's yes or maybe, great, we invite them to the presentation. If their answer is not positive, no, I don't look at opportunities, no problem. We simply move on. Remember, we're not in the selling business. We're in the sorting business. We're just looking for people that are just like us, that are interested in looking at something. So we invite people to presentations, and we let the leaders take it from there. Now, after we present the business to people, if they're interested, we say, great. we invite them to a presentation, right? Some people want to sign up on the spot. Great. You have to go to the training next. Okay. If you want to think about it, no problem. Go to the training. So I always tell people, after you invite someone and they have seen a presentation, no matter what, if their interest level is low, in the middle, or if they're extremely excited and they want to sign up right now, either way, the next step is everybody has to go to training. And the reason training is important is this is where you learn more about ACN. This is where you learn exactly word for word how we get customers, how we build a team, and how we work together. Training is so important because that is where you get to know the leaders. And that is where people really start to catch the vision of ACN, and they get the belief. Now, I always say that people perform to the exact degree of how much they believe in what they're doing. And we can't expect somebody to believe in what we're doing after one presentation. So our goal is to first get them in the presentation to see if they're interested or the timing's right. If it is, great. But what's even more important is that we invite them to the follow-up, which is training. And that's where they can learn more. The cool thing is that the experts do all the work, and all of us, the new people, just got to focus on inviting people. All right. So always get people into training, and then now they're going to learn. All the new people, you want to keep it simple. What's so great about today is that with the leaders, they can show you the schedule of presentations. You know, today a presentation can be done anytime, anywhere, any place. And all a presentation is it's a 15-minute overview of ACN, just showing you what we're doing. And we don't try to make the presentations long. We try to keep them simple so someone can just make a quick decision. Wow, this is something I'd like to learn more about. Now, presentations can be done anywhere, anytime, any place. They could be a private presentation. So maybe if you're new, you can just invite some of your personal friends into a private presentation, let the leader do the presentation for you. Or we do big public presentations where everybody can use them. So there's plenty of presentations for you to use. A presentation could be one person. It could be 5 people. It could be 50 people. It doesn't matter. But the goal of a presentation is just to present the business so someone can make a decision. The nice thing about today is that we're not limited to just being in person. As you know, today, people can use Zoom. So the easiest and quickest way to present ACN today is just schedule a quick Zoom presentation, and literally people can watch it at the convenience of wherever they are. And I will tell you that because of Zoom, today, I believe that the leaders of tomorrow can be 10 times bigger than the leaders of today. You know, we've built over 30 years, and Zoom has only been around where it's commonplace for about the last couple years. After COVID, everybody learned how to use Zoom. So today, going forward, we're just getting started. Imagine the type of business that you can build utilizing Zoom, right? I just want to remind everybody that you have to remember that our business is very, very simple. We just present the business to people, and some say yes, some say maybe, some say no, and then we invite them to the training. Okay, so I'll just give you something that I always say that always seemed to be simple, and it worked. Whenever a presentation was over, and I invited someone to that presentation, and I know that some people are going to be extremely excited, but I always ask a simple question. So imagine the presentation just came to an end, and I go to my guest and I say, listen, you know, the presentation was designed to just give you enough information so you can make a decision if you would like to maybe learn more about it. And I would ask somebody from a scale from 1 to 10, where are you? You know, 10 being the most interested, you know, 1 being low interest. Where are you? Scale from 1 to 10. And people would always give me a number. Some people would say, I'm a 10. I really love what I see. I want to get started right now. And I would say, perfect. But some people would say, you know, out of 1 to 10, I'm about a 5. You know, I'd like to learn more. I would say, perfect. Now, some people would even say, you know what? It's interesting. You know, I would say I'm a 2. I would say, perfect. See, to me, it didn't matter if they were a 1 or if they were a 10. That means you're interested. I don't expect everybody to watch a presentation and instantly be a 10, right? I know that everybody has different lives. We all have different things going on in our lives. The question people really ask is that, can they do this? Can they do this under their current set of circumstances? Everybody's got different things going on. And so that's why training is so important, because when people see the training and see how we work together as a team, how the leaders do all the heavy lifting, the leaders do all the presentations, the leaders do all the trainings, all most of us have to do is just simply invite people. Now they learn that in the training. Now, as soon as someone goes to a good training, they say to themselves, wow, I can do this. I can do this even under my current set of circumstances. And when somebody says that in their heart and their mind, then you have someone that becomes a 10. All right. So just remember that after a presentation, you could say to somebody, hey, from a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the greatest, what's your level of interest? And no matter what they say, a 1, a 2, a 5, a 10, you just say perfect. And here's the next step. And the next step is you invite them to training and let the training build the business for them. The training is going to be the key to success. It's going to be the most powerful tool for you to build the business. If I can give you any advice for anyone that's an existing IBO, and for any of you that are going to work over time, I'm going to tell you something that everybody goes through. And you can't help this, it's going to happen. However, if you can recognize it, you can always put yourself in a great chance of succeeding. And here's what it is. Every one of us will go through 4 phases of the business as we're building. Now, phase 1 is when you're doing what you should do. That means that you are personally leading by example. You are building a team. You are inviting people to presentations. You are doing what you expect everyone else to do. Okay. And if you're doing that, your chances of success are great. But what happens is naturally, every one of us will fall into phase 2. Phase 2 is what I call a management mode, where we start managing the people that we built on our team, looking at them to do more work, looking at them to get more customers, looking at them to invite more people. And I usually know when someone is in phase 2, because they ask me questions like this. They say, Tony, I have a question for you. How do you get your people to be more motivated? How do you get your team to recruit more people? And how do you get your team to get more customers? When I start hearing those questions, what that tells me is the leader that's talking to me is in phase 2. They're trying to manage their people, but they're not leading by example. Now, the problem with this is simple, is that people don't do what you say. People do what you do. Whether you realize it or not, they model your behavior. So if you're not leading by example, and if you're not the one doing what you expect them to do, what happens is they start following your lead, and your people start to slow down. And you don't realize it, it's because of what you're doing. And what happens is your people start doing what you do, which they want to start managing their people. And what happens is that forces you by accident into phase 3. You don't mean to do this, but it's happening. And phase 3 is now where you're kind of overseeing your managers. You're not leading by example, and now your team is not leading by example. And this cycle continues, and it will force you into phase 4. And phase 4, I say is phase out. This is where people quit the business. This is where people that don't realize what happened, why it's not working, and it's all because you were not leading by example. So I'm going to give you the greatest tip is always focus on phase 1. That means if you're in phase 1, it solves all problems in your business. It will solve every problem you have. For example, if you're in phase 1, that means you're working. If you're working and you're leading by example, you're going to be making bonuses. You are going to be building a team. Your business will be growing, so you'll be making money, right? Also, if your team does what you do and you're in phase 1, your team is growing, all right? And your people do what you do. You know, there is a saying in our business, and I hope this translates correctly, but they say it's easier to give birth than it is to raise the dead when you're building your team. Now, what does that mean? That means when you have a team that starts to lose their motivation and you're trying to get them to work when they may not want to work, okay? It's easier to go recruit someone new than to motivate your team to do what they may not do. So they say it's easier to give birth than it is to raise the dead. But I don't agree with that 100%. You can raise the dead. How do you raise the dead? What's the solution? Phase one. If you're in phase one, your team is going to be in phase one. They're going to do what you do. So if you're working, they're going to work. Everybody needs somebody to inspire them. Everybody needs somebody to show them it can be done. And I'll tell you something else that's interesting. You know, every one of us are going to wake up, and some days we're motivated, some days we're not. I know we've all had that feeling. And sometimes we wait for motivation, and that motivation doesn't always come. And here's the reason why. Because motivation, it doesn't come first. We think it does, but it doesn't. Action comes first. Motivation follows. I'll give you an example. Every one of us knows that it's important that we exercise. And I know every one of us, you know, we go through times in our life where we're doing the right things and we're exercising, we feel good. And there's times that we don't. And then when we're not, we know we need to do it. And all of a sudden we keep saying to ourselves, okay, I'm going to start next week. I'm going to start exercising. And we put it off. And some of us put it off longer than we should, right? But then that one day comes. We say, you know what? I can't put it off any longer. I don't feel like going, but I'm going to go exercise today. And then you do it. And while you're exercising, now, whether it's walking or jogging or going to the gym, whatever exercise is to you, doesn't matter what it is, but we've all had that day where you start exercising. And the minute you do, the blood starts moving and you get that good feeling, that good rush. And you say to yourself, wow, I feel good. Why am I not doing this every single day? And you have to ask yourself, what came first, the motivation or the action? It's always the action. The action will create the motivation. Action comes first, feeling comes second. And that's the same in business. When you wake up, if you're in phase one, that means you're taking action. You're piquing people's interest. You're inviting people to presentations. And when you're doing that, even if you don't feel like doing it, do it anyway. And you know what? All of a sudden, you're going to be motivated. Oh, I love doing this. You're going to be meeting new people. Things are going to be happening. Someone in your team's going to join. And you think you're going to motivate them? No, they're going to motivate you. I've actually done a presentation. I'll never forget this. When I learned this lesson, and I sat down and explained the business to somebody, and they looked at me and they said, wow, I've been looking for something like this. And this is what they said to me. They said, you are so lucky that you recruited me because I love this. I'm going to make you rich. I'll never forget that. And I'm thinking, I started laughing because inside I was getting motivated. I'm like, wow, this person's motivating me. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, am I supposed to motivate them or are they supposed to motivate me? But this new person is motivating me. And that's what happens when you're in phase one. Phase one is a solution to everything. It motivates your team. It motivates you, and it's fun. When you're in phase one and you're doing this business every day, it is one of the most fun businesses you'll ever do. Just remember, don't get frustrated. Don't overcomplicate this business. We all do two things. We all get customers. We all get customer getters. We're all going to get some customers and invite people. That's how simple our business is. You do it every single day, and I promise you, it's just a matter of time that you're going to have success. If I can share anything with you guys, you know, I think the timing of what we're doing today is absolutely perfect for all of you. I mean, we've been in business for a long time, but we have success behind us. But what's more important is how big the opportunity is in front of us, and we barely got started. You know, here we are, just over 10 years in Asia. If I could give you advice, is just keep it simple. What you should be focusing on is just creating momentum for yourself. Just do the simple things you're supposed to do in your business. Right now, we have the best services and the products that we've ever had when it comes to building your business. This is the best time to build an ACN. Just focus on doing your part and let us focus on our part. And we're going to do everything we can to make your opportunity better. We're going to do everything we can to make this opportunity for you the best it can ever be. So we will do our part, you do your part. And if we just keep working, I promise you, we're going to make history together. And I want to tell you all, I do look forward to coming back to Korea and coming back to Japan and doing some more tours I look forward to doing it. I think you guys are the greatest leaders. I've made so many great friends out there, and I look forward to seeing you all. So thank you all for your time, and enjoy the rest of your training. Thank you, everybody.